Emma had once believed that love was supposed to feel like coming home. She was 26 when she met Daniel. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon in a small coffee shop where Emma worked after finishing her university classes. She was sitting behind the counter, trying to finish a book during a quiet hour, when Daniel walked in carrying a stack of papers and looking completely exhausted. He ordered black coffee. Then he forgot to take it. Emma smiled and pushed the cup toward him. "You almost left without your coffee." Daniel looked down at the cup and laughed. "I guess my brain stopped working somewhere around page 37. Emma smiled. "Then maybe you need more than coffee. What do you recommend?" "Sleep." He laughed again. That was the beginning. Daniel started coming to the coffee shop every afternoon. Sometimes he ordered coffee. Sometimes he ordered nothing and simply sat at the corner table working on his laptop. Emma slowly learned about his dreams. He wanted to build his own company. He wanted to make something that belonged to him. He wanted to become successful enough to give his mother a comfortable life. And Daniel learned about Emma too. He learned that she loved old songs, rainy afternoons, handwritten letters, and small acts of kindness. He learned that she always gave the last piece of cake to someone else even when she wanted it. He learned that when Emma cared about someone, she cared completely. And eventually, he became the person she cared about most. Their relationship was not perfect. They argued about small things. They sometimes misunderstood each other. But whenever Daniel looked at Emma, she felt safe. For 3 years, they built a life together. They talked about marriage. They looked at apartments. They discussed what their future children might be named. Emma even kept a small notebook where she wrote down the dreams they wanted to achieve together. She believed Daniel would be her forever. Then one night, everything changed. Emma had prepared dinner for Daniel because he had promised to come over after an important business meeting. She waited. 7 o'clock. 8. 9. At 10:30, she finally heard the door. Daniel walked inside. But something was different. He didn't kiss her. He didn't smile. He didn't even look at her. Emma immediately knew something was wrong. "Daniel?" He stood silently for several seconds. Then he said the words that would stay inside her mind for years. "I think we need to end this." Emma stared at him. "What?" "I can't do this anymore." She thought it was a joke. Then she saw his face. "Is there someone else?" Daniel didn't answer. That silence was enough. Emma's heart sank. "There is someone else, isn't there?" Daniel finally looked at her. "Yes." Emma felt like the entire room had suddenly become cold. "Who?" He swallowed. "Sarah." Sarah was one of Daniel's colleagues. Emma knew her. She had met her several times. She had even trusted her. That night, Emma felt something inside her break. She cried. She begged Daniel to explain. She asked what she had done wrong. She asked why 3 years of love could disappear in one evening. But Daniel had no answer that could make the pain disappear. He simply walked away. The next morning, Emma woke up with swollen eyes and a terrible emptiness in her chest. She looked around the apartment. The photographs. The coffee mugs. The little gifts. The notebook filled with their dreams. Everything reminded her of him. For weeks, Emma barely left her room. She stopped answering calls. She stopped meeting friends. She stopped believing in herself. The worst part wasn't losing Daniel. The worst part was losing the person she had been before him. She no longer trusted people. She no longer believed promises. And whenever someone mentioned love, she felt angry. Her mother tried to help. Her best friend Lily stayed beside her. But healing did not happen overnight. Months passed. Then a year. Emma eventually realized that waiting for Daniel to regret his decision was keeping her trapped. So she made a decision. She would rebuild her life without him. She returned to work. She started painting again. She enrolled in a business course. She traveled to places she had always wanted to see. Slowly, she began to smile again. Not because she had forgotten Daniel, but because she had finally remembered Emma. 3 years later, Emma had become a completely different woman. She owned a small design studio. She employed 6 people. She volunteered at a community center on weekends. She helped young women who had gone through difficult relationships. She often told them something simple. Someone breaking your heart doesn't mean they have the right to decide your future. She believed every word. Then one rainy evening, her phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. Emma almost ignored it. But she answered. "Hello?" There was silence. Then a man's voice whispered her name. Emma. Her heart stopped. She knew that voice. Daniel. She didn't speak. "Emma, I know I have no right to call you." She remained silent. "I just need to tell you something." "What?" "I was wrong." Emma closed her eyes. For years, she had imagined hearing those words. But now that they had finally arrived, they didn't make her feel victorious. They made her tired. Daniel continued. "Sarah left me 2 years ago." Emma said nothing. "I lost my company." Still nothing. "My mother became sick." Emma's expression changed slightly. "And now?" His voice broke. "Now I'm trying to rebuild my life." Emma could have said something cruel. She could have reminded him of every night she cried. She could have told him that he deserved everything that happened. Instead, she simply asked. "Why are you calling me?" There was a long pause. "I don't want you back." Emma was surprised. "I know I don't deserve that." "Then why?" "Because I need to apologize." Emma stared out the window. She thought about the young woman she had been 3 years earlier. The woman who had believed Daniel was her entire world. She realized she no longer wanted an apology for herself. She wanted peace. "Daniel," she said quietly, "I forgave you a long time ago." He began crying. "You did?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because I got tired of carrying something that was hurting me more than it was hurting you." Daniel didn't respond. Emma continued. "Forgiving you doesn't mean what you did was okay." "I know. It doesn't mean I want you back." "I know. And it doesn't erase what happened." "I know. Forgiveness simply means I don't want your mistake to control the rest of my life." Daniel cried silently. Emma hung up. She thought that would be the end. But it wasn't. 6 months later, Emma received a message from Lily. "Emma, you need to see this." Lily sent her a photograph. Daniel was standing outside a hospital. He looked thinner. Older. Broken. Emma immediately called Lily. "What happened?" Lily explained that Daniel's mother had been diagnosed with a serious illness. Daniel had been spending most of his time caring for her. Emma felt something she didn't expect. Compassion. She didn't love Daniel anymore. But she remembered his mother. She had always been kind to Emma. So Emma visited the hospital. When Daniel saw her standing at the end of the hallway, he froze. For several seconds, neither of them moved. Then Daniel whispered. "You came." Emma nodded. "I came to see your mother." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "She asks about you sometimes." Emma smiled gently. "I hope she's doing okay." Daniel looked at the floor. Emma, you don't have to forgive me again. I didn't come for you. I know. I came because your mother was always good to me. Daniel nodded. Emma entered the room. Daniel's mother smiled when she saw her. Oh, Emma. They hugged. For the first time in years, Emma felt no anger. Only sadness for everything that had happened. They talked for almost an hour. Before Emma left, Daniel's mother held her hand. I'm sorry, she whispered. Emma shook her head. Please don't apologize for someone else's mistake. The woman looked at her with tears in her eyes. You were always too kind. Emma smiled. No. I just learned that kindness doesn't mean allowing people to hurt you. Outside the hospital, Emma found Daniel waiting. He looked at her. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. I've spent years thinking about what I did. I know. I ruined something good. Yes. Daniel took a deep breath. I wish I could go back. Emma looked at him. So do I. He was surprised. You do? Yes. Daniel looked hopeful for a second. Emma continued. I wish I could go back and tell the woman I was that she would survive. His expression changed. I wish I could tell her she didn't need your love to know her worth. Daniel lowered his eyes. And I wish I could tell her that one person's betrayal would never define the rest of her life. Daniel wiped his tears. I am truly sorry. Emma nodded. I believe you. Then she said something Daniel would never forget. I forgive you. Daniel looked at her. Thank you. But I'm not coming back. I understand. Emma smiled. Sometimes forgiveness means closing a door without hatred. She walked away. Daniel watched her disappear down the hallway. For the first time, he understood that forgiveness wasn't a gift Emma had given him. It was freedom she had given herself. Years passed. Emma married someone else. His name was Michael. He never tried to compete with Daniel. He never asked Emma to forget her past. Instead, he respected it. When Emma told him about Daniel, Michael simply said, everyone has a chapter before they meet the person they're meant to build a future with. Emma smiled. You're not jealous? No. Why? Because your past made you the woman I love today. Emma held his hand. Years later, Emma opened a small counseling center for women recovering from painful relationships. On the wall, she placed a simple sentence. You don't have to forget what happened to forgive. People often asked her why she chose that message. Emma would smile. Then she would tell them her story. She would tell them that forgiveness isn't pretending the pain never happened. It isn't allowing someone to hurt you again. It isn't forgetting the betrayal. And it certainly isn't returning to the person who broke you. Forgiveness is choosing not to let anger become your permanent home. One afternoon, Emma received a letter. The handwriting was familiar. Daniel. He wrote that his mother had passed away peacefully. He wrote that he had rebuilt his life slowly. He had started working for a charity. He had learned to live with his mistakes instead of running from them. At the end of the letter, he wrote, I don't expect anything from you. I only wanted you to know that your forgiveness changed me. Emma folded the letter carefully. She didn't cry. She simply smiled. Then she placed it in a drawer. Not because she wanted to remember Daniel, but because she wanted to remember how far she had come. That night, Emma stood beside her bedroom window watching the rain. Years earlier, rain had reminded her of heartbreak. Now it reminded her of healing. She realized something beautiful. Daniel had once broken her heart. But he had not broken her life. The pain had changed her. The betrayal had taught her. The loneliness had strengthened her. And forgiveness had finally set her free. Emma understood that sometimes people enter our lives to stay forever. And sometimes they enter our lives to teach us how to stand alone. Daniel had been both. He was the person who broke her heart. But he was also part of the journey that taught her how to rebuild it. And perhaps that was the greatest victory of all. Not getting revenge. Not making him regret losing her. Not proving that she had become successful without him. Her victory was waking up one morning and realizing she no longer wished him pain. She wished him healing. Because when you can genuinely wish peace for someone who once destroyed your peace, you know you have finally healed. Emma closed the curtains. She turned off the light. And as she walked away from the window, she whispered to herself, "I forgive you." Not because Daniel deserved it. But because Emma deserved to be free. And that is the lesson her story leaves behind. You don't forgive because the person who hurt you deserves another chance. You forgive because you deserve another life. A life without bitterness. A life without constantly replaying the past. A life where your heart belongs to you again. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is start again. And sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply becoming happy without the person who thought they had the power to destroy you. So if someone has ever broken your heart, remember Emma's story. You may not be able to change what happened. You may never receive the apology you deserve. You may never understand why someone you trusted chose to hurt you. But you can choose what happens next. You can heal. You can grow. You can love again. And one day, you may look back at the person who broke your heart and realize that they didn't end your story. They only ended one chapter. The best chapters were still waiting to be written.